What?
balls.
Balchinian.
Peter Griffin. That's his last name, right? Griffin?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. You gotta get the...
I was when she said it, though, I was thinking of movie 43.
Oh, yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He's got balls on his chin, like right under here. That's where he wears
literally,
a scarf.
literal balls.
Yeah.
Like it gets cold and they shrink up to. It's pretty fucking funny.
Mission Impossible.
I don't know why they're so ashamed of that movie.
That movie is fucking funny. I
Men
don't
in
care what
Black
anybody
2,
says.
who's Balchinian.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Oh, yeah. All right, we are the Bonsai Movie Crew. Welcome back. It's the first week of the year, the first podcast of the year,
Yes.
What year?
Happy New Year.
2024.
27?
Sure. Whatever
All
year
right.
you want it to be.
Well, if it's 27,
No, I
I'm
don't wanna-
20, guys. Well, I will be.
So,
Don't push it because before you know it, you'll be 40.
I'll be
Yeah.
20.
You won't be happy about it.
yeah, I wanted to be of age at your age, too.
I
Yeah.
never
And
said
then I was of
wanted to
age,
be
and I was like,
age. I
fuck
just said I
this.
would
Yeah,
This
and
be.
before,
sucks.
like,
Dude,
you
it's
got to
like
be
a
21, and then
speed.
you're like, wait.
I
Stop.
gotta make my own food now?
Stop. Yeah. It's not
I never
good.
said I wanted to be of age. I just said in 27 I would be.
After
20.
21, it's a roller coaster.
I say 25. After 25, it just goes downhill.
I mean, yeah, you are looking for 25 to lower your insurance.
Lower your insurance. I mean, this when shit starts getting, people start looking at you like an actual adult
Yeah.
at about 25. So, but like before that, they just think you're some punk ass snot-nosed kid.
Yeah.
So,
And they're not wrong.
yeah, if I could have stayed 25 forever,
That's
I
true. I
definitely
think
would've.
about like the way I thought and acted, and like I am not the same person
Same here.
at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Same here. I am not. That was 12 years ago, but I'm not at all.
Amazing
the same person.
how much you change in just that short amount of time.
Yeah.
Kids do it, different jobs, getting married, all that stuff. It all does it. It all changes your perspective on a lot of different things. And
For sure.
Started this one off deep. All I said was 27.
Welcome to the new year.
it's just gonna get deeper
We're
around here.
gonna be real serious this year.
Yeah.
Not.
I think we're kicking off the year with a good movie, though.
Yes.
So, all right.
I would
Anyway, don't forget to check out our socials and stuff down there. Our Instagram, what all do we have? Instagram,
Facebook.
There's one more.
TikTok.
And then don't forget to check us out on, of course, YouTube, and then Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Anywhere you can find podcasts.
Yeah, anywhere else. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Besides Rumble. Bye, Rumble.
Yeah, we're not doing Rumble no more.
I don't really think anybody goes to Rumble for podcasts other than
No.
Like-
you can't even upload more than 15 megabytes or some shit.
no.
Yeah, like you can't even I had to. So whenever the reason why it was so annoying, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if it was like YouTube. With YouTube, you can upload as much and as big a video as
File.
you want, as
Yeah.
big a file as you want. With Rumble, because our videos are usually about 2 hours long, with Rumble, I had to go back and re-export the video in 720 because of how big the file was.
depth.
So it's really annoying, and nobody watched us there, so I didn't see the point. I felt like it was a waste of time.
No.
So, because let's face it, I mean, yeah, it's a conservative site, but we're not all that conservative either. We're kind of just
In the middle.
in the middle. We don't really care. So it doesn't. We couldn't find a following there. So
Eh.
because I don't care about transgender people and gay people and all that stuff. So
Well, we care, just not in the way that Rumble would want us to.
We
I
care
right,
guess.
enough
exactly.
not-
We have.
We care in the other
You
way.
guys are you.
We care.
do
We
our
care in
thing.
the way that we don't care what you guys do. It's
Yeah,
your fucking life.
It's your life.
For them,
Live
though,
and
they're
let
like,
live.
that's bad. You need to be a Christian conservative, and we're not like that. So
Yeah. Live and let live, man.
yeah. But anyway, moving on. Let's get into our creator profile. Can anybody guess who it is?
I'm gonna go with Arnold
What's the last name?
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
Put that cookie down!
You missed it, man.
I was giving him the look like, dude, perfect opportunity. See, it's useful.
It is useful.
It's
100%.
We got a couple new bumps.
Just was so excited about those.
I wasn't super excited, but I did like.
I was
the cookie.
excited.
I like the cookie one. Put the cookie down.
Put the cookie down.
I'm just like I said. Next one you need to get on there is the who's your daddy and what does he do?
Yes.
All right, this week we're doing Arnie.
Arnold.
Arnold. Karen, do you want to read the Arnold?
Yeah.
Damn it, why are you being a dick?
Is it because I can't say his name?
If I can read it, because somebody keeps shining a light in my face.
Eric, let's grow up here. It's a new year. New you, man.
Mi scusi.
He doesn't even talk anymore. Just let the bumps talk for him. Like, I don't even need to say anything. Excuse me.
He's scanning his page and everything.
Yeah, I was just adding that into the thing.
That's his new only word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right,
Okay.
Eric?
Arnold.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah. Austrian-born Arnold Schwarzenegger rose to fame as the world's top bodybuilder, launching a career that would make him a giant Hollywood star in the 1980s via films like Conan the Barbarian, The Terminator, and Total Recall. After years of blockbuster movie roles, Schwarzenegger went into politics, serving as governor of California from 2003 to 2011. Since leaving office, he has returned to the big screen, finding success with the Expendables franchise and a return to the Terminator series.
Hold on now. Wait, what? The Expendables franchise? He was in for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't
He
really- I
was in like the
he was in
second
the
one a little bit more,
Yeah.
and then like here and there in the third.
Yeah, I was gonna say
First,
he was big in the second one, I thought.
Yeah, he
But
was
I've only
bigger in the
seen that
second
one
I
once.
just remember him coming in at the end as one of the other guys,
I only
along
remember,
with Bruce Willis.
I only
Yes
saw
and
the
no.
second one
At the
once.
beginning, he was part of it, and then towards the end, they threw him in there again.
I wouldn't say that it was a big comeback for him.
No, I
You know, not
well,
the
and
Expendables.
they threw in the Terminator too, and it's like, was that a big thing for him?
I mean, it was big. It was it wanted to be a big thing, but it wasn't. Let's just say his career ain't what he used to be.
No, I listened to the thing where he's talking about Andre the Giant with him. They're doing the movie Conan, I think it was. Yeah, it was Conan. They did the movie together, and he was talking about how Andre just wanted to take him out to dinner. So he's like, yeah, let's go out to dinner. He's like, they're sitting there getting ready to pay, and he's like, well, I'll pay my share. And Andre's like, no, I pay. So I insist, and going back and forth. Andre's like, I pay, and then picks up Arnold like a baby, picks him up and puts him on a pedestal, and then goes and pays the bill.
Have you ever seen a can of beer in Andre the Giant's
Yeah,
hand?
it's literally-
it looks like it's so tiny in his hand. It is so tiny. It looks like if I was holding a Barbie.
Just
So-
holding it like this,
Yeah, it is so tiny in his hand.
Literally, it took 9, or I can't remember how many beers it was.
A can of beer was nothing for him.
They literally said
was
he
so
had
huge.
he had to go through cases of beer just to even get a buzz.
it's crazy.
It's nuts. Okay. Early years. Arnold, I'm going to say Alois. It's
I
spelled
think so.
Alois. Alois. Schwarzenegger was born on July 30th, 1947 in Thal, Austria, near the city of Graz. I'm going to fuck all of this
What was
up,
the
I
word?
think. Graz?
What was the name of the word? The town.
THL? Thal?
Thal.
Thal?
Thal.
Okay, so I was right. Schwarzenegger's childhood was far from ideal. His father, Gustav, was an alcoholic police chief and one-time member of the Nazi Party who favored Arnold's brother Meinhard over his gangly, seemingly less athletic younger son. Gustav Gustav is reported to have beaten and intimidated Schwarzenegger, and when he could, pitted his two boys against one another.
Yeah, he was very.
Sounds like a nice guy.
He was abusive and things like that towards Arnold.
He also ridiculed Schwarzenegger's early dreams of becoming a bodybuilder. It was a very uptight feeling at home, Schwarzenegger later recalled, so uptight and uncomfortable that Schwarzenegger would later refuse to attend the funeral of his father, who died in 1972, or his brother, who was killed in a car crash in 1971. Arnold was much closer to his mother Aurelia, Aurelia, yeah, that's much better, who resided in Austria throughout her life and was active in local wildlife programs. She died of a heart attack at age 76 in August of 1998 with a
She
loss.
came to America a lot though to visit him. Like she was here a lot.
I did know about that.
Yeah.
Like and I think I even see pictures of the two of them.
Yeah.
Like he took her to
Yeah,
events
she was
and
very
stuff.
supportive of his acting and stuff like that.
With the loss of my mother, my world has fallen apart, Schwarzenegger said at the time. Bodybuilding. As an escape, Schwarzenegger turned to the movies, in particular those of Reg Park, a bodybuilder, and star, or Reg, I thought that was a place. Reg Park, a bodybuilder and star in B-level Hercules movies. The films also helped propel Schwarzenegger's obsession with America and the future he felt awaited him there. Getting to his new country was the issue. Schwarzenegger found his answer in Joe Weider, the man behind the International Federation of Bodybuilding, an organization that sponsored contests such as Mr. Universe and Mr. Olympia. Weider loved Schwarzenegger's bravado, sense of humor, and the potential he saw in the young bodybuilder. Weider's instincts couldn't have been more dead on. In all, Schwarzenegger would win an unprecedented 5 Mr. Universe's titles and 7 Mr. Olympia crowns during his bodybuilding career. Equally significant, Schwarzenegger, who immigrated to the United States in 1968, helped propel the sport into the mainstream, culminating in the 1977 documentary Pumping Iron, which tells the tale of Schwarzenegger's defense of his Mr. Olympia crown. He became a U.S. citizen in 1983.
Yeah, they skipped over a little bit of his earlier days. So before he even moved to America, he lived in England and he lived in, I believe, France, where he also competed there in bodybuilding competitions.
And he learned English in England, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And he moved here. Whenever he moved to Florida, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So,
action star, Conan, The Terminator, Total Recall, and beyond. With his ascension to the top of the bodybuilding world, it was only a matter.
Oh, and another thing, he was rich before he was an actor.
Oh yeah,
he was very fucking wealthy because
Mr. Olympia is.
Well, not even just that, but also he did a lot.
He was very good at putting his money where it needed to go.
Yeah, he was dealing in a lot of art too.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd buy and sell art.
He was a good
and
investor.
Like
He's very good with money.
He was rich before he was an actor. So.
Yeah, so like what he would
he was
win,
a self-made man too.
Yeah, like what he would win, he would invest, and he was very good at it. He was very good with what...
He was actually a pretty smart dude.
Yeah, he is. With his ascension to the top of the bodybuilding world, it was only a matter of time before Schwarzenegger would move over to the big screen. After a few small parts, Schwarzenegger received a Golden Globe Award for his best newcomer in the performance in Stay Hungry 1976. With his immense physical strength and size, Schwarzenegger was a natural for action films. He became a leading figure in several popular 1980s action movies, including Conan the Barbarian and its sequel, Conan the Destroyer. Schwarzenegger also starred as a deadly machine from the future in The Terminator and later reprised the role for Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Additional action flicks from the actor's heyday include Commando, Predator, The Running Man, Total Recall, and True Lies. He also used his oversized physique to comedic effect in Twins and Kindergarten Cop. Wife and children. Off-screen, Schwarzenegger continued his remarkable story marrying into the Kennedy family in 1986 by tying the knot with Maria Owing Shriver, daughter of Inez Kennedy Shriver, and her husband R. Sargent Shriver. According to People, a mutual friend introduced the two at a tennis tournament in 1977. They began dating shortly after, and Schwarzenegger proposed 8 years into their relationship. In May 2011, the couple announced their decision to separate after Schwarzenegger's acknowledgement that he fathered a son, Joseph Bana, with Mildred Bana.
Me.
A member of the family's household staff. You wish.
I do. I would be doing this shit.
Schwarzenegger.
He looks a lot like his dad.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger and Shriver finalized their divorce in 2021. Schwarzenegger and Shriver have 4 children, Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher. Patrick followed his dad into the acting business, appearing in several films as a child before taking a lead role in the 2018 teen tearjerker Midnight Sun.
He was also in in Gen V, that spinoff of The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
He was I can't remember the name of his what was it? Golden Boy, I think his name was in the show. But it's so funny because seeing his son, I thought he looked more like The dude who plays Billy the Butcher, what's his name? Carl Urban.
Oh,
He looks just like. I was like, is
No,
that
you
Carl
mean-
Urban's son?
not Carl Urban. He played Lincoln too. If you're saying Billy the Butcher.
No, yeah, no, not the same Billy Butcher.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, you're talking about his name in The
His
Boys?
name in The
'Cause
Boys.
I haven't seen that
Carl
yet. I
Urban's
haven't
name
watched
in
it
The
yet.
Boys
Carl
is
Urban's-
Billy
okay.
Butcher.
Okay.
But yeah, he's in that, and I thought he was his son. Turns out I was like, oh, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's
Dude, depending
son.
on what Carl Urban's in, you can't always tell it's Carl Urban.
It's true.
Like, the dude can really dress down or dress up depending on what
Yeah,
he's
that's
going
very
for.
True. Yeah.
Like, in Ghost Ship, I didn't know that was Carl Urban. Like, for the longest time, and then, like, somebody said something
I
about him
forget
being
that
in
he
the
was
movie.
in Doom with The Rock,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I'm sure that he's trying to forget it too. But
Understandable. Governor of California. In 2003, Schwarzenegger again showed his resolve to succeed when he threw his hat into the ring for the California governor's race and won a seat in a special election. In a state that was mired in severe budget woes, the newly elected Republican governor promised to bring economic stability to his adopted state. As expected, Schwarzenegger brought his unique brand of confidence to his new job. If they don't have the guts, I'll call them girly men, he said to Democrats early in his first term. They should go back to the table and fix the budget. In addition to focusing on the state's financial situation, Governor Schwarzenegger worked to promote new businesses and protect the environment. In 2006, he easily won his re-election bid. Throughout his political career, Schwarzenegger credited former U.S. President Ronald Reagan as a personal inspiration. Remembering his early years in the United States, Schwarzenegger once said, "I became a citizen of the United States when Reagan was president, and he is the first president I voted for as an American citizen. He inspired me and made me even prouder to be an American." His second term in office did not run as smoothly, however, as Schwarzenegger struggled to help the state through difficult financial times. After leaving office in January 2011, he sought to revive his career in the entertainment industry. In March of that year, Schwarzenegger announced plans to work with famed comic book director Stan Lee on a new animated series inspired by his time in office. Return to Hollywood, The Expendables, and Terminator sequels. Maybe they'll explain what they meant by the comeback. In 2010, Schwarzenegger appeared alongside Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Bruce Willis in the ensemble action film The Expendables. In August 2012, he reunited with the cast for The Expendables 2, and just 1 week after the sequel's premiere, it had climbed to the #1 spot at the box office, bringing in nearly $28.6 million. Schwarzenegger made headlines again later in 2012 when he admitted for the first time to having an affair with his Red Sonja co-star Brigitte Nielsen in the mid-1980s when he was dating and living with Maria Shriver. Nielsen had written about the adulterous relationship in her 2000 memoir, You Only Get One Life, but Schwarzenegger didn't publicly confirm Nielsen's account until the fall of 2012 when his memoir Total Recall was published. Man, he be getting around.
he's a very sexual human being, though.
Good
too.
Lord.
Like he's very sexual.
Continuing with his acting career, Schwarzenegger rejoined Stallone for The Expendables 3 in 2014. The following year, he returned to the film franchise that made him a star with Terminator Genisys. In January 2017, Schwarzenegger replaced incoming U.S. President Donald Trump as host of NBC's reality show The New Celebrity Apprentice, produced by Mark Burnett. However, the show stumbled to low ratings, and within a few months, the actor announced that he would not return. That year, Schwarzenegger revealed that he was involved with a new Terminator film in the works, with the announcement that original co-star Leno Hamilton was also returning. Buzz built ahead of the fall 2019 release of Terminator Dark Fate, though the big-budget film ultimately disappointed with its opening weekend performance at the box office.
Because it wasn't good.
I didn't even watch it.
What's that?
Dark Fate. Terminator Dark Fate.
Is that the one where?
With Linda Hamilton back and shit.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
I didn't like it.
I don't think I've watched anything since the one with Christian Bale.
That one wasn't good.
Salvation? I like Salvation.
The
A lot of people
only-
don't.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say overall it was bad. The only thing that I remember being blown away by, what's his name? The kid. And he died young, and it was really sad.
Oh, the guy who played Reese.
Yeah. Because when he walked up and he was like, "Come with me if you want to live," I was like, "I know who that is!" Like, yeah, he blew me away.
Yeah, that's
He blows me away in anything he was
he's
in,
a
though.
good
Like, he was
actor. I can't remember
amazing.
his fucking name.
Yeah, I can't either.
It'll come back to
He
me.
was in the Fright Night. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
amazing.
he was in the Fright Night remake, which is
fucking-
also a good remake.
Fucking tragedy. Most recently, Schwarzenegger has taken his acting career to the small screen, beginning with Stan Lee's Superhero Kindergarten. The family-friendly cartoon, which released its first season in 2021, featured Schwarzenegger as Arnold Armstrong and Captain Courage. He also produced the show. In 2023, Schwarzenegger headlined the Netflix series Fubar about a father-daughter CIA duo. It quickly became the streaming platform's #1 TV show despite middling reviews from critics. Health problems. Schwarzenegger endured a health scare while undergoing surgery for a catheter valve replacement at a Los Angeles hospital in March 2018.
What? Yeah.
The valve replacement failed, resulting in emergency open heart surgery that proved successful. According to his spokesman, Schwarzenegger was soon in stable condition, reportedly waking up
Anton
with the words,
Yelchin.
"I'm back."
Anton Yelchin. Or
Yes,
Yelkin, whatever it
Yelkin,
is.
yeah. Thank you. With the words, "I'm back," and a nod to his famous Terminator character. And that's Arnold.
Arnold! Alright, everybody's favorite Arnold movie. Go!
Oh, it's between Kindergarten Cop and this one, Last Action Hero. I'm going to say Last Action Hero.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of good fucking movies.
I tend to like the comedic.
I do like comedic Arnold. I honestly think he does better comedy than The Rock ever has.
Yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Um,
I like this. I like Last Action Hero though because it shows a lot more than. Okay, you get the action, you
Yeah.
get the comedy, but then also like I really like the scene where he goes into the real world, and
there's a lot to talk about with that movie.
yeah. So like
we'll
you
get there. I
you
just
get
like
serious.
yeah.
You get,
There's
you
a
know,
lot of
So
there's a lot of like contrast that I don't think people understood because that movie was a flop whenever.
Oh
it came
yeah,
out.
it was.
And he was really disappointed about it because
Oh,
he
for
said
sure he was.
I think he still says to this day that it's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got lots of
And-
trivia
He
about
put
that.
a lot
Yeah.
of the acting into it. He, was,
He
like,
put a lot
Yeah.
of stuff
drama and
into
everything.
this movie.
So,
actually,
but I think for me, I'm still gonna have to say, man, I think my favorite movie of his, man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, man, I love Kindergarten Cop, but I love True Lies. True Lies is so good. Predator is really good. It's so hard to pick.
if I go for Arnold, it's gonna be
Total
this movie.
Recall is fucking amazing.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like because of his acting, like the acting itself, his acting, it's this movie. Last Action Hero. You get to see all of it.
Yeah, but I know Arnold as an action hero, man. That's how I like to see
I
him.
get it.
I like Kindergarten.
It's
Cop.
about what your
Kindergarten
experience is.
Cop,
I get it.
yeah.
I think Kindergarten Cop was one of the
'Cause he
earliest
showed
for me, yeah.
drama in that movie too. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna say it's a hard toss up between True Lies and Total Recall, man. I fucking love those movies. Those movies have so much. And Total Recall,
Running
dude,
Man.
The Running Man is a really good one.
True Lies would be up there for me too.
Total Recall and Running Man were kind of like right in the same era.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really hard to pick, man. I mean, he's done. If I had to weigh him, I'm like, I love The Rock, man. I love The Rock for what he brings and what he's got. But he's also a one note actor. He's not. He's
It's
not a
paint
good
by
actor.
number, man. You could pick
Yeah.
up any movie with The Rock in it, and I
It's
could
the
tell you
same.
who he's playing.
Yeah, he's the same person.
I can tell
in
you.
every movie.
I just don't
Whereas
know the name.
Arnold, man, he's played a variety of different people. I mean, granted, he's
They-
always a badass
The thing
by
I
the
liked
end, but
about him as an actor is that they tried to back him into a corner.
yeah,
They tried to say, "This is the kind of actor you're going to be. You're always going to play this guy," and he was like, "No, I'm not."
he's played a few serious roles too. He played what was that one movie? Was it called Maggie? Where it was during a zombie apocalypse, and his daughter was bitten or something, was slowly turning into a zombie, and he had to kind of cope and deal with that as she was turning.
I don't think I know that.
It's a very slow, kind of gritty movie. He's not a badass in it. He's just a dad,
yeah.
and that's a good one. If you want to see it, how far his acting can go. He's a good actor. Like, oh no, End of Days, dude. That
Oh,
might
yeah,
be my
that-
favorite one.
That one's really good too.
I love
Yeah.
End of Days.
Yeah, End of Days is really good.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
I haven't seen it in a really long time though, so I couldn't say that one. I just remember really liking it.
because I like that because that also brings in this like depressed, kind of down on himself, right? Almost on the verge of like unaliving himself. You know, kind of Arnold that you don't get to see in a lot of movies. So
Right.
End of Days is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So and that and it was dark and it's a horror movie, so I gotta get behind that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But what about you?
Last Action Hero.
Last
I've
Action
only seen
Hero.
3 movies with him in it.
What are the
The
other two?
Twins and Terminator.
Wow.
What?
We're slowly educating her.
Don't hate on her too much.
Don't hate on me at
She'll get-
all.
she's probably seen other ones that she just don't realize. Like, oh yeah, I did see this.
Yeah, if you,
know what I
went
mean?
through
'Cause
like the IMDb page, I bet you'd see more and you'd be like, oh yeah.
maybe, or that, or she'd start watching and be like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So Arnold's the man. He's always been the man. Yeah, he's got a unquenched sexual appetite, but he's not my husband, so I don't care.
Yeah, maybe on a personal level you might not like him so much, but
I like Arnold. I just think that he's Austrian, man. They're weird over there. So
They're weird over there.
so anyway, moving on. What have you guys been watching?
What the hell have you been watching?
Let's start with Karen.
Family Guy, The Retirement Plan, Shoot 'em Up, Scarecrows, Reefer Madness. I'd never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
And then they had a follow-up called Sex Madness, so I watched that too.
Right.
So,
Are you bored?
well, I'd never seen Reefer Madness, so I was kind of interested. And then, so it was like
the original or the remake?
the original.
Okay.
And so, like, it was like a double feature. So I was like, well, I'm already here.
Oh.
And like, I know that.
What do you mean you're like, well, I'm already here? Fuck that, dude. Like,
Well, I was like, well, I don't know. I was interested because like historical, right? And I know that they weren't going for like entertainment with Reefer Madness, but what was entertaining about the first one, they didn't bring to the second one, so don't watch that one. And House Shark. That's it.
House Shark?
House Shark was hilarious.
Sounds ridiculous.
It is over the top, ridiculous, but it is entertaining as fuck. Dude, I was thoroughly entertained. I was laughing. It's every bit like if you're entertained by Trolls 2 or anything Trauma comes out with that is entertaining, or I mean you're gonna love it. It's got a lot of nods to like Jaws. So like anytime the shark shows up, they play like Jaws-esque music. And they're all the time saying, we're going to need a bigger insert whatever here. There's a part where the house fills up with water. And they have to like go and unplug the drain in the basement. Because a house is watertight.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Watch it. It's amazing.
I always say, she watches them so we don't have to.
Dude, it's fucking funny. I'm telling you.
Eric, what'd you watch?
So I watched Rust to Riches, which is that car detailing show. It's okay. I enjoy it. I like watching people build cars and stuff like that. Interests me. See, what else did I watch? I watched that Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah, that show.
Yeah.
People really liked it. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I mean, if you can get past the first like episode where it's just a lot of sexual people, just
That's kind of why I was kind of avoiding it.
If you can get past like the first episode or so like that, it kind of gets going. And I mean, I finished the whole season.
Yeah, that's the only. I think that's the only reason why I didn't watch it. I was like, not really big.
Yeah,
on
like
it.
when I first turned it on, it just started off like right off the get. I'm like, I
Is this what it's
really
gonna be?
hope this is not how it is, and like it does.
I hate that shows do that. They'll pull no punches in their first episode, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna put a bunch of tits and stuff in this, and I know what it is. It's them trying to pull you in. It's like, I'm not
That's
a fucking
not
raging
pulling me
pervert.
in.
Give me a good fucking story, dude. You don't need a
Yeah.
bunch of tits on the screen to get me interested.
Yeah, and it kind of goes with what the game was. I mean, they did throw that in there, like in the game too. Like it was supposed to be about unless you didn't want to make it like that.
I played the game, and yeah, there's a couple of scenes of nudity, but it does. I mean, I guess you can pick up a prostitute, but like, I don't know. It's not as. That's not the center focal
No,
point. Of
I beat the game. I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, the game's fun. It's a gorgeous fucking game.
Yeah.
It's probably
If
one
you
of
can
the
get
best
past-
looking games I've ever seen.
Yeah, if you can get past all the, what the hell am I glitches.
Oh, they fixed a lot of that shit.
Oh man, I was dealing with.
I
a lot
bought
of
the
glitches.
game day one, and I didn't have any problems on it. Everybody else was bitching about all these problems. Like, I didn't have a single issue out of that game.
Like I had the little Manus blades or whatever in my arms, and sometimes it would glitch out. And my arms would be like 10 feet in front of me.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
It's just a mod in your.
yeah, that's all
Yeah.
it is. So I watched those two shows, and then I watched Rebel Moon.
Did you like that?
You know, I did, but it did have a lot of Star Wars,
Oh yeah.
big time. It was like basically Star Wars, like Zack Snyder's Star Wars version without Jedis.
Well, for sure, yeah. It was very Star Wars-esque. The thing about the show, the movie that people are complaining a lot about, and I understand, is they say like the first half of the movie is like really good, and it's like it just kicks off, like you're getting interested in these characters, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there because once it starts kicking into like a lot of the action, it kind of just forgets about its own story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see that, but I see where Zack Snyder's trying to go with this. Like he's trying to give you
The
like
first
an
half of an
the
of a
first
saga
half
story.
of it is story. The
Yeah.
second half is all your action or your visual stuff.
Couldn't you make the same argument for movies like Star Wars?
You could make the same argument for a lot of action movies.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Movies like Star Wars, where they became this giant saga.
people. So I think the problem with that movie is people are nitpicking it because it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie. So people
But
are
it's
going to
not.
hate it. I know, but people are going to hate it because of that reason. Also because it's a Zack Snyder film. So people are against Zack Snyder in a lot of ways. Like if you look at like the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, people were 50-50 on that shit. So
I enjoyed the Snyder
I
Cut.
like the Snyder Cut. Is it long? Yes. But is it worth it? Yes. So that's how I see it. And Rebel Moon's a good fucking movie. Yo, yeah, whoever complains about it's a fucking idiot. Like, go find me a better movie that's come out recently, please.
I mean, the main actress, I don't know how I really feel about how she was acting in the movie. Like,
I think she was great. I liked her. I thought she was awesome. I
Yeah.
can't remember Sophia. God, I can't remember her name. She was in the new Mummy movie. She played the Mummy.
Oh yeah, I haven't.
She was
watched
also
that
in the
yet.
first
I
Kingsman
do need
movie.
to watch it, but I haven't watched it.
So, but she's all. I think she's great. I think she's a great action star.
she just felt kind of deadpan there for like.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but I see why she's supposed to be that like everyman
Veteran.
kind of character.
Yeah.
That's your eyes into this world,
Yeah.
and she's supposed to be. I wouldn't say she's lifeless because she's not that. She's just like that person that you could relate to the most. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I get why she's there and what her point is, but I liked her. I think she's great. So, and I think she's a great actress, and I like her in action movies. But-
I tried watching that new Hunger Games movie, and like
I have no interest.
I got like an hour, maybe not even that, maybe a half an hour into it, and I just turned it off because I just didn't feel any interest in it.
It's like the Hunger Game movies were okay when they came out. They were the new big thing, and I watched them. But I could
enjoyed
never
them.
imagine going back and like, oh man, I really need to rewatch all the Hunger Game movies.
I haven't watched it.
I have no
For
desire.
me, Hunger Games and Maze Runner were kind of the same.
A lot in the
concept.
Divergent
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So I don't want to see the new Hunger Games movie either. So
Like I said, I lost interest about half an hour into it.
yeah.
That's all I watched.
Madison, what'd you watch?
Well, at the beginning of the... My voice cracked. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Anyways, at the beginning of the week, I watched The Two Towers. But that's...
She's still watching the Lord of the Rings movies. I come in the other
She's
day.
wearing the ring.
Yeah, she's
She's
wearing
got
the
a
ring.
Precious.
She's obsessed now.
She has a precious.
I
On
feel
her
like
neck.
a good dad. I'm the dad that every dad wishes he was. Like, dude, you got your daughter fully invested and obsessed with Lord of the Rings. Like, yeah, beat that bitch. You know, like,
And then I went on a Marvel kick. I
As one
watched...
does.
Well, it was mainly...
no one doesn't. Not now, anyway.
It was...
That shit is so
No,
kicked
a
in
Marvel
the ground.
kick was.
No, it was mainly like a Thor and Loki kick. Because I started watching the show Loki, and then I went back, because I'd never seen the original Thor movie. At least not that I remember.
Yeah.
But so I went back and I watched that, and then but before that, or I watched Thor Ragnarok first because I was doing a puzzle, and then I watched Loki, and then I watched Thor, and then I watched Infinity War. Yeah.
So roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of order completely.
You got the story, but roundabout.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
It's hard to like if you didn't grow up watching all these movies as they released, it would be hard to like.
You imagine trying to sit down and watch them in
order in order that they were released or in order that they were intended to be watched.
Yeah,
like,
in order
there's
for
like
the universe.
How many? There's like what 25 movies or something like that.
I think
25 or
Jeremiah's
30
got
movies.
It written down like how they're supposed to be.
I'm
watched.
sure they do,
Maybe not
like-
written
Well,
down.
they
but
even
he's
have
got
it-
a thing
yeah.
that says how they're supposed to be watched.
Even on Disney, they have it set up to where you can watch it in order.
Do they
Starting
really?
with the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can do it. Like I don't even know. That's ridiculous.
Like, let's see if I can find it.
I wonder how many hours it would be. Somebody should add up like how many hours it would
I'm
take
sure
to
they
watch.
have.
Oh, I
every
bet
single
it's
one.
every
Oh,
bit of
man.
100 hours worth of
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
I bet it's a whole week's worth of movie.
I don't have it in me.
I don't either. Not at this point. Between the TV shows, the movies.
Right
You've got a
here
lot
it
of
says
watching.
timeline order: Captain America, First Avenger, then Agent Carter. Like they're even putting the TV shows into it.
Well, hold on now. Like, but Captain America wasn't the first one to come out. They're saying in timeline order.
Timeline
Yeah,
order.
timeline order.
Timeline order. So
Oh.
Captain America first, then Agent Carter, then Captain Marvel, then the first Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk. Funny thing happened on the way to this Thor's hammer. It's like a TV show, I guess. Then Thor, Consultant, Avengers, Item 47, Thor, The Dark World, Iron Man 3, All Hail the King, which is like that one dude in Iron Man 2, I think it is. The one with the top knot.
Oh,
Why is he important at all?
he's not.
No, they're just it's what's
just-
going on
yeah.
in the universe. Like a lot of these shows that you're hearing are just stuff that fills in.
Yeah.
And then Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I Am Groot, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Civil War, Black Widow, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Doctor Strange.
Okay, we don't need.
Yeah, it's-
how many are there altogether?
I gotta count this. Well, movies and shows or just movies?
Never mind. I don't
Too
even
many.
wanna know. Yeah, too many.
Yeah, because I mean, literally,
Good lord, man. I bet there's every bit of 30 or 40 movies and series.
I can't even tell you the last time I watched one. Like they just kept coming, and I was like,
I'm
over
at
it.
that point,
I
man.
stopped,
Where
like-
I bet I still watch them, but I'm like, I don't hold it to any. Like, the last good one to come out was Thor Ragnarok.
I loved that movie when
No,
it
I
came
take
out.
that back because that new Guardians movie was pretty fucking great. That new Guardians movie was really good.
I like Dark World, Thor Dark World.
That's the worst one. That is the worst one.
I liked how it brought in Loki's
Fight.
feeling towards his mom. Like you actually seen Loki's
I think
feelings
Loki
towards his
is
mom at that
hilarious.
point.
Loki is great. I love him as a character, but he's completely deviated from what he was in the comic books. So
They all have been.
that's true, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Fuck those movies. There's too many Marvel movies. They need to stop making them.
Like if I did watch them in the timeline where I'm not watching the shows, I'd just watch the movies.
I couldn't do
And
it.
even at that point, you're spending 3 days.
Give me the abridged version of all of it. You know what I mean? Like just tie it.
I
all
think once
together.
they start flooding the market, I'm over it. Like I'm just,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not.
Especially whenever
I
you
get
have actual
overwhelmed.
good directors out there bitching about Marvel movies. They're like, the superhero genre is too much. Like, I remember Quentin Tarantino got pissed off because they wouldn't show his movie at some theater because of a Marvel movie or something like that. He's like, now hold on a minute. And this is a theater that he was very fond of, that he went to for years, and they wouldn't show his movie because of a Marvel movie. And he said, this is bullshit. And he threw a big fucking fit about it. I was like, I don't blame him, dude. The fucking market is over. He's like, this movie's over here making billions of dollars. He goes, and my little fucking movie can't even be played in the theater that I want it to be played in. He's like, this is ridiculous.
Well, to be fair, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You can't blame the theater.
no, I don't.
They're
Yeah,
making money.
100%. I agree.
You can
Yeah,
blame the masses.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I don't know. I'm one of them people that like give me a good movie.
I guess that's why I get frustrated, like when I'm talking to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can't stand how many Marvel movies are coming out." But then you talk to them later and like, "Oh, did you hear this is coming out?" And it's like, didn't we just talk about this? Like
Yeah.
you say you can't stand Marvel movies coming out, left and right, but yet you're one of them. You're going to see it. You're
I don't go to the
feeding into
theater.
it.
I don't go to the theater to see them. I'll watch them at
watch 'em,
home and
'cause
all that.
I'm
but
not. I mean, it's
I don't
fine.
get excited for them. Like there's a new Madam Web movie coming out. I don't know why. Nobody cares about Madam
My
Web.
point about it is like, okay, if you want to be one of the masses, then just own up to it. Is all I'm saying. If that's who you're gonna be, then just be that. Be proud of who you are.
Yeah, I mean, some people like them Marvel movies, man. I'm sure there are people out there that own the whole collection, that bought them all individually, whatever. Not me.
If that's who you are, then that's who you are.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Wow,
That's so mean.
that is mean. Thank you, Eric.
I
Eric's got his head. All right, well, I watched some stuff too. So I didn't mention this last week. We watched Good Burger 2.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
And?
was it? I've been kind of.
I'm on the fence.
Did
I
you
keep-
like the first one?
Well, yeah,
I don't
enjoyed the first one.
remember.
If you like the first one, you'll like the second.
I like
It's
the
pretty much the
skits back in the
It's
day.
a lot of the same. Yeah.
But
I remember being
But-
even that age and thinking this is just the skits, and the skits are great because they're
Yeah,
short.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch
So,
a movie of it. I guess
I would say that the new one is good, and it's in the way that you need it to be good. It's not great. It's nothing to write home about, but
I don't
it's
think
a
they
fun movie
intended
for
for it
you
to
and
be
the
a great
kids.
like nostalgic and
A
like,
little
you know,
bit,
you get to
yeah,
show your kids
yeah.
kind of like this was funny when I was a kid. This was something that we found.
Yeah,
I still
and-
show Good Burger to my kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
me and
hell,
the kids watch Good
Theodore
Burger.
loves that movie.
So we watched Good Burger. We actually watched Good Burger.
It was just
It's
as
been a few
cringy as
months
the
ago.
last.
Yeah, it was a few months ago, and then that new one came out. I was like, oh, we gotta watch that. So we watched it, and I was like, this is just like watching. This is kind of like watching the first. It's just cheesy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it. You get what you get. You walk into it knowing it's a good burger movie, then you're gonna get what you're expecting. You know what I mean? It's not bad, but it's not fucking great or anything. You know what I mean? It's just one of those movies that's great to watch with the kids, and I can say that I watched it. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not. But I've been watching Reacher as that comes out. There's 2 more episodes out that we watched. Show's still great. We watched the new Ricky Gervais stand up on Netflix. Pretty good. He talks a lot about pederasses. So you can only imagine where that goes.
I just love how everybody wants to get up in arms about that guy. And it's like, did you not watch when he hosted? He doesn't fucking
He
care.
doesn't care. Why
No.
should he care?
No.
It's his stage. If you
Yeah.
don't want to fucking watch him, then don't
People
watch him.
who
You don't
people
care.
who are there know what
He's-
to expect.
He has literally said it time and time again. He doesn't fucking care.
And he'll also tell you it's a joke. It's a joke. He even says it multiple times. It's sad that he even has to say it at all. Because you fucking people are pussies.
Because it's called stand-up comedy, and usually whenever it's comedy, it's kind of a joke, because it's
That
funny
can-
and jokes.
it
Comedy
can
is
be
going to be
offensive.
offensive
Comedy
in
is funny.
in all directions. I mean, you just
It
got to
can
take
be
what
offensive, but you know what? Get the fuck over it, dude. Who cares? Nobody cares about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Do you care about their feelings, Karen?
no,
No,
I don't.
Nobody cares. Get over it.
If somebody hurts my feelings, like, you either talk to the person about it and get over it, or
Suck it
you
up.
just go on with your
Like,
life.
yeah.
Like, that's just how it
Like
is.
that one comedian said, when did sticks and stones become irrelevant?
Well, okay, and here's a more important fact. If somebody on TV hurts my feelings, which they never do, but if someone on TV hurts my feelings, oh, look, a remote.
All right.
It's not like you're going to get
I mean,
catch
fuck
leprosy.
off.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We also started watching that show, Good School Spirits.
Oh, that one that we talked about way back in the day? That was that one, right? It was like a cheerleader thing. It was...
No. This is a new show on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's got that girl from Cobra Kai.
Peyton.
I don't know her name.
Peyton.
Yeah, sure.
No.
I don't know her name.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's the girl from Jesse.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Pretty sure her name's
Drawing a
Peyton,
blank.
so.
I didn't know who the girl was until.
I mean,
Cobra
I
Kai.
did watch Jesse. I just don't know their names.
So
The blondie.
I watched it with Gage.
So it's not bad if you're into it, I guess. She's a ghost who can only talk to her one friend, and then there are other ghosts in the school too. And it's all right. I mean, it's another one of them shows that kind of moves along a little too slowly.
Like a teeny bopper kind of.
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
No, not really. It's not violent or anything like that. But I think she does a great job. I think she does a great job, and I think that the other young actors in it do a great job. It's funny when it needs to be funny, and it's got its serious moments too, which is good. And it doesn't feel cheap either. Like, you know how some Netflix shows feel cheap? Yeah. It doesn't feel cheap. So, like Cobra Kai feels cheap to me. It looks cheap, kind of feels cheap.
Makes you want to take a shower after.
A little bit, yeah. Like, it's like it doesn't have the budget. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a budget there or something.
Even though you know there is.
Even though you know there is a massive budget on Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
It just feels cheap to me. But
I actually read something about that. I think it was because it came from YouTube,
yeah.
And they wanted to keep the same aesthetic, and so they just
which is dumb because I was really hoping that whenever Netflix took it over,
I thought
that they would
same thing.
They would move
like,
away from
they
that.
don't have to, I guess, change sets completely or anything, but they could.
It's the way it's filmed. It feels cheap.
Yeah, they could bump it a little bit. They could spice it up a little.
Yeah. So I don't know. The School Spirits show is good though. I would recommend it. You know, if you're into like kind of a whodunit murder mystery type deal.
I do like that.
So that's pretty much what this is. She's just trying to figure out.
She doesn't know who murdered her.
Yeah, she doesn't know who murdered her, so she's trying to figure that out.
Oh, okay. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But and then the last thing we watched The Family Plan last night. It's on Apple Plus. It's got Mark Wahlberg in it. It's that new action comedy with him in it.
I heard of it, but I've not.
It's like where he used to be like a government assassin.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that, and then but he's like in hiding and he's got a family and stuff like that, and they find him and blah blah blah. It's pretty good actually.
With a baby carrier on his chest.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's got some good action in it. It's fun. I really liked it. I didn't think it was too terrible. It's not one that I'm going to go out of my way, but I think that there are some standout moments, and I think there's a few standout things about the movie. One being that it's Mark Wahlberg, obviously, but also the lady that plays his wife. She's done a lot of movies too. She's very pretty, but like she's kind of a standout in the movie because she's very entertaining. She was like there's this one scene where I guess she used to be like a decathlon where she was like a pole vaulter and stuff. And at the end of the movie, she tries to like pole vault, and the pole vault like with this like piece of like bamboo, and it fucking breaks, and she like just hits the wall like cartoon style and just lands on her head. It was fucking hilarious because I was thinking like because she was like gonna pole vault and like into this bad guy. I was like, if she does this, it's gonna be so fucking cheesy. Because the bad guy's literally just standing there laughing at her. And I'm like, if she lands this, and then she didn't, it broke, and she hit the wall, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. But then she kind of like rebutted it by taking the other half of it and spearing them with it. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
See, that's another thing like about like The Last Action Hero. I feel like if it was made in a different time period, it would have succeeded.
Oh, for sure.
Because
the one argument that I have about Last Action Hero is it was meta before meta was cool.
Exactly. That's it's kind of like what Marty said, you know, like you guys might not be into this yet, but your kids are going to love it.
Exactly. So
yeah.
That's how I feel about Last Action Hero. I think that it was
before
it was ahead of its time. Yeah. So, you know. But anyway, that's all I watched. Let's move on here. Let's get into our movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
Karen, do you have a plot synopsis?
I do. And I forgot about it this time. I haven't done that in a while.
See, and I didn't.
Okay. Following the death of his father, young Danny Madigan takes comfort in watching action movies featuring the indestructible Los Angeles cop Jack Slater. After being given a magic ticket by theater manager Nick, Danny is sucked into the screen and bonds with Slater. When evil fictional villain Benedict gets his hands on the ticket and enters the real world, Danny and Jack must follow and stop him. Rated PG-13, 2 hours and 11 minutes. Didn't feel like 2 hours at all.
It doesn't. It doesn't really drag. Nothing's really dull about it.
No. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Jack Slater and himself, Austin O'Brien as Danny Madigan, Bridget Wilson Sampras as Whitney or Meredith, F. Murray Abraham as John Practice, Art Carney as Frank, and Charles Dance as Benedict. That's as far as I'm going.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this.
Yeah,
movie.
I could keep going, and
You
you'd
could name
know every
off
fucking name.
all the parodies, or not all the parodies, all the cameos and everything
like Death,
that.
Ian McKellen.
Yeah, Ian
I mean,
McKellen,
who knows
yeah.
that? You know, I mean,
Robert
everybody.
Patrick is in there.
Yep,
as the
I
T-1000
could
for a
keep
second.
going. Yeah, you'd know every single fucking one of these people.
But anyway, So, Eric, would you watch? Would you recommend?
Oh yeah, it's not the first time. It won't be the last time. I'm guaranteed I'll watch it again.
Karen.
Yep.
Madison.
Yeah. Probably not for a while.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, you can't watch it right off.
Mine's
the bat.
definitely a yes and a yes, like 100%. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to see this movie. This is one of them movies, like, it's iconic in its own right, man. And it failed, and it shouldn't have failed. It should have been better, done better at the box office.
Again, it's just
But
I think it was the time period in which it was made. People
I also
just
believe
didn't get it.
that if you're a fan of, like, 80s and 90s action, this movie is for you. Like, this is
Well, here's my question.
what, you know what I mean? Like, this brings every trope in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And calls them out.
What-
so-
What movies came out at the same time? That could have been another reason why it flopped.
I have no idea what was coming out at that time.
I'd imagine some other movies.
But I
that
can't
were-
imagine that an Arnold movie hitting theaters would have flopped. You know, like, he was the most bankable movie star back then. You know what I mean? Like, if he had a movie coming out, it was making millions. There was no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what could have. Maybe a Tom Hanks movie? I don't know.
Well,
So-
I mean, yeah, this came out after.
Actually, there's a lot to be said about the studio and the push for when it was released.
I know the marketing behind this was insane.
Yeah.
I bet they had a lot of money in marketing with this movie.
Well, it was more like it came out around the time that Jurassic Park did, but Jurassic Park came out after. I know that.
So
From-
that might have killed it.
It was after though. That was part of the push to get it out when it came out.
right.
So it came out. I can't. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 2 weeks before Jurassic Park.
that could have killed the box office numbers a little bit. Though.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little, but the studio. I got a lot of it in trivia, but if memory serves, the studio pushed hard for it to get made and released by a certain day, and like literally, like they made it by the skin of their teeth. And like, I mean, if they had just taken a little more time to edit it and do it better, it might have done better. But I really think it was the time. I think it was the time in which it was made. Honestly, like
Yeah.
nobody really understood meta or got it. You know, like
That's the thing about it too.
us as
is
kids, we loved it.
the only
we really
thing,
did.
the only thing that really did meta were parody movies. So you had like
And those movies weren't doing great either. They were fine. Like,
yeah.
they did okay.
What were those movies?
But they weren't box office.
What were those movies with like Leslie Nielsen in that?
Naked Gun.
Naked
they did
Gun,
okay.
And then there was the one with Charlie Sheen that was out.
Hot Shots.
Hot
yeah,
Shots. You had movies like that back then that
But
were
they weren't
like,
box office.
but they weren't. But yeah, they weren't box office darlings or nothing.
No.
They were parody.
They did
movies.
okay.
Yeah, they were cheaply made and they had a decent return.
Yep.
But like with a movie like this, people didn't understand.
What this
I-
movie was supposed to be like. They made them. They put money behind it, and they were expecting money back.
Yeah.
And the kind of money they put into it wasn't parody money.
no.
So they were expecting
yeah. It was like
action box office
big
money
action,
back.
like star Arnold
And
Schwarzenegger money behind
the
it.
kind
so-
of audience that was out there for that didn't have parody audience. People just
Right.
weren't into parodies back then, or meta, that kind of thing. Nobody was into it then. I think
And
if
it's
it was
so
made
funny
today,
because some of the things in this movie that like it says parody, like the part where he opens up his closet door and it's all the same clothes that he wears all
and
the
there's
time.
but the thing that's great about it though, like that, okay, in parodies they'll draw attention to that. They'll draw you to that.
Whereas in this, it's
Whereas it's very
It's very
subtle. There's so
subtle,
many things
yeah.
that happen in the background that's subtle that you don't even notice unless
like whenever they're walking in the police station and like they're teaming up like these weird this cop with this like weird offbeat, like this. All right, yeah, you're with the rabbi today, and
Yeah.
this and that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it was weird because
Or
it's
like,
like,
oh, hey, I can prove that this is a movie. There's an animated cat over there. Yeah, and he'll be here again tomorrow.
yeah, he'll do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's just it's
The voice recorder for his wife.
You know, the thing
Well,
that
his
killed me
wife.
his wife. Yeah.
was I didn't even think about it as a kid, but like, you know, you watch it in subsequent watches or whatever, and the fact that the police station was like gorgeous never bothered me as a kid. Never even entered my mind.
So as a kid, I always thought like, man, that's a really nice place. Like, but looking at it now, I'm thinking like, man, that looks like the epicenter of a mall or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the fact that they draw attention to this stuff in the movie, and I never put two and two together, you know, like that everybody's beautiful and the police station's beautiful and valet parking. I never noticed that before.
I did notice that. I knew that before the valet parking.
I never
Yeah.
noticed
the way
the valet
everybody
parking.
dressed. It's so funny because as a kid, I always thought that's just L.A.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
I thought. I just thought that must just be L.A. Like they're very
They're all
eccentric
very
there.
beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
they're all like they dress in weird shades of like bright colored
pastels.
leather and you know what I mean. And, like,
All the
they
women wear pastels
They all look
and-
like they're like members of like Daft Punk or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's weird. I didn't know.
Like that girl with the side mirrors on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part where they break in, like I
Yeah.
was like, what exactly are these ladies dressing up for?
I have
Like,
no idea.
I had no
I know,
fucking
right?
clue.
And they like land in there, and there was no reason for it. Like the car
No.
blows up on the way up, like for no reason at all.
Things just blow up for no reason.
Yep.
But that's the contrast
Uh-huh.
between an action movie and real life.
Yep.
Like you don't see any blood in this movie until he gets
Dude
into
got
the real
stabbed
world.
by an ice cream
I was about
cone.
to say
Yeah.
that dude.
That was amazing. I mean,
Because
got-
he even
he got
says,
coned or
he goes,
something.
you can't
Yeah.
say this because this is a PG-13 movie.
yes.
But as soon as he gets out there and he gets shot, dude, he's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so that whenever he plays chicken with the guy, if you look in the background, the guy's like hanging out realistically outside of the window and just blood is running down everywhere. It's like, yeah, because this is real life.
And it's so realistic too when Benedict says, you know, bad guys have a chance of winning here.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of a sobering, you know, like as a person, you're like,
It does. So, and maybe that's why the movie bombed. But for me, the end of the movie, like that, like last third of the movie, was the most gritty and like I love that part of the movie. I love how much of a dark turn it takes because it's for one, it leaves you feeling like fuck, he might not win. It's kind of like watching Scream for the first time and thinking Sidney Prescott could die. They're saying this because they're saying it. This is what makes it so meta. It makes it meta because they're under this realization that they are in a movie. This is so, you know, they're throwing the rules out the window.
well, I think part of it is that, you know, back then everything was so shiny and happy,
Yeah,
you know, movie wise.
right.
And so to throw that out there and say, hey, the world isn't such a happy place
Yeah.
at an audience that's used to shiny and happy, maybe they just weren't ready for it.
Yeah, maybe because I mean if you think about it in the way like this came out in 93. Scream came out in 96. It was only 3 years later that Scream had come out. And they pretty much did the same thing with throwing all these horror movie tropes out the window. So
But horror is a different audience.
that is true. That is true. But I believe
Ghostbusters.
Somebody's echo's going off.
It's not mine. Mine are all at home.
was that you?
No.
It wasn't me.
What was that?
Sounded like it came from upstairs.
That was definitely some like Ghostbusters shit.
Yes, I said it was Ecto 1. It was at Ghostbusters.
Fuck.
Mine are all
I
at home.
definitely
So
heard it upstairs.
I did too. That was weird. I don't think my kids have any like Ghostbuster stuff.
They do now.
All right. Anyway, let's
I
get
got
into the-
I got Jackson one for Christmas.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the hell is that? That's what it sounded like. It sounded like the Ecto One.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Sorry. Got a little off subject.
That was really weird. I was
Oh.
like, what the
Just
fuck?
out of nowhere.
All right. Yeah, and then it died real fast.
Well, that's how it always ends.
Yeah.
Oh.
When the siren goes out.
That's weird.
All right.
Ghostbusters just break down here. Fuck.
Anybody see a ghost? No?
No.
No, we're good.
I think. I don't know. Ada came up from using the bathroom last night, and she said, the first thing she said as she came into the room, she said, "Why'd you say my name?" I was like, "Girl, don't play with me right now." Dude, don't play with me. She was like, "Stop it." I was like, "No, you stop it. I was perfectly fine before you moved in here. I didn't have people coming in my room in the middle of the night telling me they heard me saying things to them." Don't start. And I have to pee. I made her come with me. Was not about to walk out there after she heard me talking to her. Crazy.
No.
Jess was just down there with a recording from your voice saying, Ada. Just...
Ada.
No. Mm-mm. She said, "Well, I thought I heard you," and then I said, "Yeah," and after you didn't say anything again, I just rolled my eyes, and I figured you'd be waiting for me on the stairs, but whenever I went over there, I half expected you'd be hiding behind the TV trying to scare me. But whenever you weren't there, I just came upstairs and figured you got sick of waiting, and I was like, I was never down there. You're freaking me out.
Alright, let's get going with this movie.
Okay, last action hero. Young Danny Madigan is a teenage boy living in a crime-ridden area of New York City with his widowed mother. Following the death of his father, Danny takes comfort in watching action movies, especially those featuring the indestructible Los Angeles cop Jack Slater. At his local movie theater owned by Nick, who also acts as the projectionist, Nick gives Danny a golden ticket once owned by Harry Houdini to see an early preview of the new film Jack Slater 5 before its official release.
I thought it was Jack Slater 4.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wrote this is an idiot.
Is it IV? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
it's supposed to
I
be
do.
Jack
Is
Slater
that 4?
That's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do numeral numbers. I suck at them.
Roman numeral?
That's what I said. A short while into the film, the ticket transports Danny
Whatever
inside
you want him to be, it's fine. You can make up new names. It's cool. We'll follow you.
The ticket transports Danny inside the fictional world where he finds himself in the back of Slater's car, who is being pursued by several henchmen. The two manage to escape and return to LAPD headquarters. Danny insists that they are both in a film by pointing out numerous inconsistencies, such as the presence of a cartoon cat detective called Whiskers and several fictional characters from real-world films. But Slater believes Danny is just an imaginative kid. Danny is assigned the role of Slater's partner by Supervisor Decker and attempts to help solve Slater's current case by leading him to the mansion home of the villain Tony Vivaldi. Vivaldi?
Sure.
Vivaldi?
Vivaldi.
Having recognized the location from the beginning of the film. Vivaldi's henchman, Mr. Benedict, persuades them to leave, becoming suspicious of Danny after overhearing him speak about Benedict's past activities. Slater and Danny return to Slater's home, being greeted by his daughter Meredith. Benedict and his henchmen follow them to the house, and while Slater is out, hold Danny and Meredith hostage and steal the tickets in the process. Slater returns and kills the henchman in a shootout as Benedict flees. Later at the mansion, he discovers the ticket's magic properties. Danny and Slater uncover a plan by Vivaldi and Benedict to kill their mob rivals at a funeral by inserting a lethal gas in the deceased corpse. Slater and Danny arrive and are betrayed by Slater's colleague, John Practice. However, they are rescued by Whiskers, who kills Practice. With the help of Danny, Slater infiltrates the funeral and safely disposes of the corpse before they are picked up by Meredith. An irritated Benedict betrays and kills Vivaldi at the mansion before becoming confronted by Slater and Danny, who inadvertently send Benedict into the real world with the ticket. Slater and Danny follow him and appear in Nick's theater, where Slater becomes despondent? Probably. Upon finding out that he's just a fictional character. He spends time at Danny's home with him and his mother and gradually learns to become more sensitive as a person. Finding that a villain can win in the real world by literally getting away with murder, Benedict hatches a plan to eliminate Slater by killing
Schwarzenegger.
Arnold,
Just killed
the
some
actor.
puppy.
I can't say.
I've
you
killed
guys.
someone.
Schwarzenegger.
Shut up now, there.
Yeah, shut up. I've
Um,
killed somebody and I'd like to confess.
Yeah.
after which he
Hey,
can.
shut up down there.
After which he can bring various villains out of their respective films and take over reality. He summons the Ripper, the main antagonist from Jack Slater 3, to kill Arnold, but Slater saves the actor and kills the Ripper atop a roof by electrocuting him. Benedict returns and reveals a scheme to Slater and Danny after a fight with the two, during which Slater is shot. Slater takes out Benedict by shooting his explosive glass eye. Danny attempts to return Slater to his world, knowing that Jack Slater, as the main protagonist, wouldn't be allowed to die, but discovers they are unable to enter the movie screen without the golden ticket. Death, another fictional character who escaped from his movie, The Seventh Seal, reveals to Danny that he will need the other half of the ticket, which he succeeds in doing. Danny brings Slater back into the movie, where he can shrug off his wound, and Danny departs back to the real world. Recovered Slater then enthusiastically embraces the true nature of his reality when he talks to Decker about his new plan, appreciating the differences between it and the real world.
The end.
Yeah.
I didn't mess up that many times, guys. I'm getting better.
You're wonderful.
So I hate some of these synopses, these plots, they always just run right through it, but there's a lot of good stuff in there that you'd have to see the movie to understand and appreciate.
Yeah.
So like the part, okay, so for instance, the part where they come into the house or whatever, and Jack Slater's not there, and it's just a boy and his daughter, and they take her in the back room and start beating the piss out of her.
Yeah.
And like smack her, and she's like, says big mistake, and then beats the fuck out of him. My sister loved that part when we were young.
Oh,
I used to be
yeah.
her. She'd always hit rewind. I'm like, why do we have to watch this part 50 times?
Well,
It's like, I just think I love the way she says it. It's like, okay, well let's keep going with the movie here.
well, there's a lot of clues there to how Cody ended up turning out.
That is true, and I don't blame her.
No, I don't blame her either.
I don't blame her. So,
Love you, Cody.
you're
So
not
very
wrong.
much.
We all
You're
love
not
you.
wrong.
I love you the
I,
most.
I know I'm
Oh,
not.
so-
That's why she's gay.
As soon as she tried to tell me that, she was bi, I was like, no, you're not.
You're gay.
No,
You're
not.
a lesbian. But there's a lot of like, okay, so man, there's so many good parts that like the plot just didn't cover.
Oh, right. Pretty close to the beginning, like when he goes and he finds his cousin in the
Yeah.
house, and it blows up, and those guys get put in the tree, and the one wakes up and he's like, 2 days from retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like 2 weeks to retirement or some shit like that.
I think it was 2 days. He was like, I was 2 days from retirement.
Yeah, and it was he was definitely playing the
The Murtaugh thing.
Yeah, he's definitely playing like the Lethal Weapon thing.
Yeah.
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 So there's a lot of good stuff in here. I love that, like, oh, they killed his favorite second cousin.
Yeah.
'Cause
Big mistake. Like, what?
They've already gone through all of familial relations
Yeah,
at that
like
point.
it's only
They
his
killed
favorite.
his kid already, the one kid. They can't kill the other one because that's, you can't leave him kidless.
Yeah, you can't leave him
You can't go
kidless.
too far.
Yeah, but they're not going to kill his wife because, as far as we know, she doesn't exist.
Right, she's just a voice on the other end of the phone.
Actually,
No,
she's not
she
even
wasn't
that
that.
because
Well, we don't
Yeah.
know that, Yeah, they've already killed so many familial relations that the only one they have left is his favorite second cousin.
yeah, his favorite second cousin.
I think my favorite gag though is when he gets to the real world and he can't even say his real name.
Yeah,
Like he's
he
like,
couldn't
yes.
say it in the he couldn't say it. Period. Anyway.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm Arnold Schwarzenheimer. No, it's
Right.
even funnier when he's like in the real world though, and he's trying to like introduce himself to people.
He's got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's like,
Or-
hi, I'm Arnold whatever.
Yeah.
He would always get to Schwarzen, and then he'd be like, I'm Arnold Schwarzenheimer, and you're like, that was my favorite gag.
I
Just
love
hearing
I
him
love
say
that
his
he
name
kept saying,
wrong.
trying to say his own name and he kept saying it wrong.
Yeah, that's probably like my favorite gag in the whole movie.
Do you think after that he accidentally said his name wrong a lot?
No,
No.
no.
I would have.
No, I think that I don't know, man. There's a lot of good stuff. Like I love the fact that like the kid's calling out every like action movie trope. I mean, he's like my
All
favorite.
the women are hot.
Yeah, he's like everybody here is hot or attractive, and it's just or the part where he's like,
Like,
in the
where are all the mediocre women
yeah.
at?
He's like, and then he's like sitting in the he's like, even the lady at the movie store look at, she is way too attractive to be working here.
And he's like, I agree.
He's going around asking everybody what their number was.
Yeah.
He's like, I guarantee they all start with 555.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like, well, that's why we have area codes. Ah!
Yeah. Even then, still. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like, and then there's whenever he's in the car, he's like, the hard rock, the heavy gunshot, the explosions. I'm in the movie. Like, he's just like, this is a movie. And then he's like parked there, and he's like, this is a movie set. We're on a movie set.
I swore there was a part though where he called out the soundtrack. Like when they were in the car and like they were shooting and stuff.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Can't you hear the music?" And Arnold was like, "What music? That's just the way it sounds," or something. You know, swore
he even
in my
changes
head.
it. He changes it himself.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but I swore like in my head, like he calls out that the music is all around them or something.
No, I
but-
don't remember that part.
No, I know because we watched it, but like
Yeah.
in my kid brain, it was still in there,
Oh,
and
it
I'm
was
like,
still in there.
I was like, "Where's that part at?"
It's
But
so
it,
funny
it never
whenever
happened.
they're going to the movie premiere at the end of the movie, and like and he passes by MC Hammer, and MC Hammer's like, "It's done, right? The deal for Slater 5." And I'm thinking like, they're not putting you on that soundtrack, dude. It's obviously a hard rock soundtrack. Like all of his soundtrack, like Megadeth and like AC/DC, they're not putting you on that soundtrack, dude.
Right,
Like
right.
Maybe they'd introduce a new character that would need that soundtrack.
that needs some MC Hammer. It's Hammer
Yeah.
time.
Can't touch this.
Can't touch this.
It
Dun, 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 dun.
was kind of neat that even though Danny didn't belong in the movie
Yeah.
part, he did fit like certain things, like movie physics would work for him. So like the chicken part, like when he was on the
I'm
bike,
just the comedic
and he would-
sidekick.
Yeah.
Did
but
the
like
ET.
when he jumped up, like he landed on the house and like he didn't get really hurt. So
Mhm.
like movie physics worked for him. And like the crane part, it didn't take him long to learn the crane. You know, certain things would work in his
So,
favor, even though he's
yeah.
not really from that world.
Right, because it would have to work to benefit the main
Correct.
protagonist.
Correct.
So my thing is, okay, so I didn't know if this was part of the movie or if it was just something that maybe it was an error, maybe the kid, but his hand was fucked up. Like he had all over his knuckles and stuff.
Mhm.
Like even at the beginning, everything. And I thought, well, maybe that happened while he was getting robbed or whatever. I was like, but no, I was like, he had that before that even. But then he goes, as soon as he gets into the movie, his hands are fine. I didn't know if that was just like an error on their part or if that was just because he's in the movie now.
I think it's because he's in the movie, and then, you know, we don't have a timeline on how long they were in there. And maybe because he was in there, it healed it.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, as soon as he falls into the
Not
car,
even,
I could
like-
see his hand.
Yeah.
And it was completely healed. I was
Yeah.
like, because I was always
I
wondering
would say
that.
that's movie logic.
That would have to be just movie. I think you're right. I think that's just movie
Because
logic.
if you think
Because
about
I'm like,
it,
I was like, it's just a little thing that they're putting in there.
but you would think it would fit because all the other movie logic that works out for him.
Exactly.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
because he can't get hurt, things like that, really. Because he's a protagonist,
Yeah.
not an antagonist.
Yeah. I would
So-
agree. I think that it's probably just a movie logic.
Like, I know that they were trying to make the real world seem as gritty as possible. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
a little bit too gritty, to be honest with you. Like overly gritty. Like, New York doesn't look like that all the time and all over the place.
Well, I
And
think that
if somebody gets shot in New York, people aren't just going to turn the other way.
no, but I guess it also depends on what neighborhood you live in.
Maybe, but I don't know about like that. Like, okay, so like that for the instance, whenever that dude walks up and just shoots that guy in the car place, he just walks up and shoots that guy. If he knew that's the kind of neighborhood that he was in, he's not just going to be that friendly.
He's not going to
You
be
know
that
what I mean?
friendly. Yeah, there's certain logic that even isn't going to work for the real world aspects of
Yeah.
it. I agree. If you're in that bad of a neighborhood in New York, you're not going to sit there in a garage working on a car with the door open.
No,
that's
no.
not
Be
going to happen.
closed.
Also,
and be
Arnold
locked.
Schwarzenegger just punching out a window, not going to happen. It'd break his hand first.
Oh, for sure.
I don't care how strong
I
he
don't
is.
care if you're Arnold or not.
Them windows are
well, I don't know.
hard.
They were less
He
hard
said
in the
my hand
90s.
hurts.
That's true. It
I
was like
rolled my eyes.
He hit it
It's
in the
Yeah.
very
Thing.
bottom
Oh.
corner.
No, he
Yeah,
hit
he
it
hit the
right in
bottom
the center.
corner.
He hit it
Yeah,
right in the
he
center.
used his knuckle to
Yeah.
do that sharp object thing.
That
and
would
then,
just break his knuckle.
like,
I'm not.
I do have a couple of logic flaws, and one of them, I know you guys are gonna say I'm thinking too hard about it, but it did kind of bother me. The first one doesn't really bother me too much, but like in an open air funeral, would that really work?
No, I don't know.
It would have to be in a closed.
Yeah,
like-
the fact that like it was just gassed that whole area.
Yeah.
Like no, the wind's just gonna take it all away.
Yeah, or I mean,
Up on top of a tall building like
yeah,
that.
like it's just gonna dissipate.
Yeah. Just get down on the ground and hold your breath for a minute.
Yeah.
It'll go away.
I don't know, that was kind of like, and I never thought of that before. Like I was like, well, they're on a roof. I think they're okay.
True.
And the other one, okay, so the whole thing is that they're gonna kill Arnold so that Slater doesn't exist.
Yeah. But he already does
The
exist.
movie already exists.
Right,
so-
Yeah.
because Slater 4...
I didn't understand that logic either.
Yes, Slater 4 already...
But you got to understand they're also still like bad guys from a movie where they're supposed to be bad guys, and their logic isn't always like the gas thing.
I'm not saying
You know
that
what I mean?
that makes the movie...
like, oh, we kill him, we'll kill the real Jack. We'll kill Jack Slater.
Yeah,
if we
I'm
kill
not
him.
saying that makes the movie any less enjoyable for me. Just that I was like kind of watching it, and I'm like, but if they kill him, that's not going to make a difference because Slater 4 is already made.
Uh-huh.
Now, if they were going to kill him before the next movie was made, then sure, like Slater doesn't exist in that movie. But for the first 4, he does.
Right.
And if that logic did work, if they killed Arnold and then he didn't exist in those Slater movies, then when actors died of natural causes, then no movies exist.
Right, exactly.
So it just doesn't work.
I don't
Either
get
way
it
you
either.
look at
Yeah.
it. But that's it. that just kind of bothered me
Mhm.
a bit. I'm like,
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me either. And you think that Benedict would be smart enough to know that.
Right?
Like,
but there again, he is flawed by his own world.
yeah, exactly.
He doesn't quite understand. He thinks he does.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't seem to understand that he can die too.
Right, exactly. And another thing is like, he thinks he can come to the real world and there aren't near as many consequences for killing somebody. It's like, I bet there are less consequences in your world with killing somebody.
Yeah, you don't.
Oh, definitely.
Well, and, I guess you have to take with a grain of salt. But, again, he's flawed by his own world. He doesn't understand
Right.
that we have consequences here.
But more people get away with things because the villains never win in his world ever.
Correct. Yeah, he thinks
That's
the
why he thinks that.
he thinks the upside. He's only thinking of the upside because that's all he understands. Because
Right.
in his world, there is no upside.
Mhm.
There is no upside being a bad guy. There's only we're gonna lose, and he doesn't know why because there is no, you know what I mean? Like, and then he gets to see this where there is an upside to being a bad guy, and if you're a bad guy, that's gonna be
But then in and of itself, this is just a movie too.
yeah.
So, therefore, he has to lose at the end.
The
Mhm.
first time I remember watching Benedict in that world and thinking like how great they did with just the subtleties of what they did is
I think he's a great villain.
oh yeah, absolutely. But when he first comes out and one of the first things he sees is like a junkie prostitute, and she
Yeah.
you can tell she's underage and everything. And she walks up, she propositions him, and the look on his face, his whole demeanor is disgust and
Yeah.
just filth, and like you can tell that he's never seen that before, that's
He's like,
never
yeah.
been
He's like, how old are you?
yes,
Yeah.
like that's never been
And then right
something
after
he's
that, they
ever-
shoot a guy and take his shoes. He's like, just for his shoes? Like,
yes,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
that whole scene is so well done by that actor, just because, especially with that prostitute, the way he reacts is like he is immediately like, I need
Yeah.
a bath,
Yeah,
like
right.
just like he's never had that happen before, and
Mhm.
it's so well done on his behalf.
It is too.
Yeah, it's just so subtle the way he does it.
I think that Benedict is a great villain. I think he does great in this movie.
Hmm.
I honestly can't complain about any of them. I think the only one that was a little overacted was maybe the mom. She overacted a little bit. Like, it was just kind of like, you don't have to be so.
I didn't think the mom was realistic at all.
That's what I'm
I
kind of
think
saying.
Arnold and his mom got it on overnight.
No, they just talked.
I mean, especially for a mom in
Talked.
New York City. First of all, her son gets robbed,
Mhm.
and she doesn't come home. I know that you're a single mom and every penny counts,
But yeah, no.
Yeah, it seems a little.
Yeah, my son my child's get robbed. I'm fucking okay. I'm out. See you guys.
Yeah,
Go home.
I'll deal with it somehow.
They're.
Like,
I
I'm
mean,
going
I
home.
think that in this case, they're in a situation where she has no choice.
I get
So
it.
I think
but
that New York life is a lot different than you think it is. I think it is down and dirty, and it can be hard. And I think that especially in that sort of in their situation where they're below their
lived in New
poverty
York.
level.
I lived in New
So-
York for a little while.
Well, I'm saying like poverty level New York.
Yeah, no, I mean poverty levels, like
They
normal.
live in this shitty, probably
yeah,
drug induced cockroach.
I never had
infested-
kids or anything, but I get it. Like I get it, but like it's your kid, man,
Right.
and they got robbed. They're scared. I
You
don't
would think
care.
that as a mom, though, she would have dipped out of there as soon as her husband died. Like, we just can't live in New York anymore.
yeah.
You know, but
Something. I don't know. It's something about her just didn't seem genuine to me as a mom.
I think
Kinda
that
like
there
she
were-
was a Disney mom.
no,
No.
more like she just wasn't realistic to me. Her acting was very off-putting. She overacted everything. I thought she overacted way too much. Also, I think that just like her reaction to things was a little
She was
more
too easy.
extreme than what her character was trying to be.
I think she was too easy.
To what?
Too easy on him. Too easy for him.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
For what her character was, she was overacting it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird. I didn't care for it. So
Yeah, I just didn't think she was very genuine for what was happening.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just
I mean, you want to know why the kid's skipping school? I mean, because
Right.
your reaction to it is,
well,
just don't do it again.
Just don't do it again. Yeah, she's.
Can I hear the
definitely-
P word?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it
Penis?
was cute. It was a cute moment, but like, it didn't seem genuine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So where you guys at? You guys done with your notes, or
Yeah.
you guys good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
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 Let's get into rating and reviewing. Oh man, Last Action Hero.
Let's go this bitch.
Let's start with Madison.
Oh, that's right. We don't do Rotten Tomatoes first.
No. Yeah, I think you asked this about every other episode.
No, just once every month or so.
Every other episode.
No.
All right. Well, sorry. Every fourth episode.
Yeah. Okay. I like this movie. You guys said it didn't drag, but I thought it dragged at some points. Not because it was boring or anything, but maybe because I wasn't in the mood for an action movie. But I still liked the movie as it was. I thought it was a good movie. I liked it better than I liked Twins, and I really liked Twins because it was funny.
I don't really care for twins that much
Mhm.
personally, but
Mhm.
Anyways.
Had a
Why'd
few
you think
funny
that?
moments.
yeah, it had a few funny moments.
I thought it was funny. I don't know. I do like Arnold's comedy and stuff in it. I don't know. I'll give it a. I didn't even think about it. 6.5.
Okay. I think for me, the movie's great. A lot of nostalgia here for me, though. I've been watching this movie since it came out, and I've always loved Arnold. I'm a sucker for Arnold movies, especially back then. Anything up until probably the early 2000s, I'd like everything Arnold, man. Even Eraser, what was that, The Sixth Day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those
Sixth
movies
Day.
are really good. You know what I mean? Even though they weren't like huge successes,
Mhm.
but they were still good. But I love the acting. I love the action. I love the meta commentary on action movies in this movie, and I love that the man who pretty much made action
What it is today.
what it
yeah.
is today is the one, starring in that movie.
Or really the action genre, like the tropes, all of that stuff. Like who created all that stuff? Like that.
That was
That's
him.
a meat and
That's
potatoes
him.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, he created the one-liners, the larger than life hero. You know what I mean? Like he made all those tropes possible. So, and I think it's fucking fantastic. And for me, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5 because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
So.
As you should.
So you said a lot of the things I was going to say. The meta is great. We didn't even talk about the police chief. The fact that he screams and you can't understand 99% of what he's saying. Smoke coming out of his ears.
Yeah, that shit's funny.
How is it? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He did a really
I'm
good
sorry.
job of it, though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you
Quick
can
rant.
almost make out words, but not quite.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's kinda
everything
like
he said
mumbling.
was
You-
words.
It was
Yeah, I
words,
know.
but they
Everything he
were
said was
not.
words.
I
There's-
mean, like, I
sentences.
just couldn't make
They
them
weren't.
out.
They weren't words that should be together, though. You know,
Oh.
it'd be like penguin, Christmas tree.
Penguin Christmas.
Hey, what
You
was
know?
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ, what did you just say
Yeah. But you know, the meta, I love the fact that when it got to the real world, how great the actors were able to take this, you know, shiny, happy place and then come into this dark, gritty place, and especially the way Arnold took it, you know.
No, that's just the difference between LA and New York, didn't you know?
Oh shit, yeah. Well, like, you know, Arnold, especially Arnold, you know, when he comes into the real world and he's like, you know, I'm fake.
Is LA?
And, you know, on top of that, they kill my kid. And that's okay, because I'm fake, you know, and like just the
Right.
way he played that whole role was really well done. Showed his acting chops quite a bit for somebody that is just a, you know, big action star.
Well, even at this
you know?
time, his acting, he didn't do a lot of good, serious acting by
Mhm.
this point. So it wasn't until after that he started picking up more of those roles.
Well, it's kind of like the twins thing, you know, nobody offered him comedy until he did
Right.
that. So, you know, it was kind of nice to see what they were able to offer him after he did this movie, and you know, you were able to see some of that seriousness come out in his acting. I really liked that.
He was taking a lot of acting classes and stuff, so.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say is, like, you know, the logic flaws, again, I never noticed them before, and also it's hard to say, are they intentional or not, because of them, this being a movie within a movie.
And that's the great part about it, is it doesn't have to, it doesn't
have to be,
matter.
yeah, it doesn't have to really
Yeah.
necessarily make
Yeah.
sense. And like you know, you brought up a good point, you know, Benedict being who he is and what he is, you know, does he really even understand that if he kills Arnold, is that going to make a difference or not? He doesn't even understand, you know, is Arnold the same person or not?
He
You know
knows
what I mean?
in his brain what he's programmed to know from what was written of him for
Correct.
that movie.
Correct. So,
You know
you know,
what I
he
mean?
would just think that if he kills Arnold, problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of like, you know, are they logic flaws or are they meant to be there? I don't know. So I really wouldn't even say that those are issues or not. There's some gaffes you can see throughout the movie, but they're there on purpose, and I really like that.
Yep.
It's just, you know, give you that, give the viewer that, I'm in the movie too. You know, that drawn in, and that was amazing to me, ahead of its time. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I like about this movie, is that it was ahead of its time. And, you know, sorry that you guys didn't get it when you were younger or whatever.
I agree.
So I'm giving it a 9. It is my favorite Arnold movie. I really think so.
Okay. So I really enjoy the comedy, the comedy tropes in it. I really like how they take Arnold, like you guys said, and the guy that started it all, and he's the one that's making fun of the action tropes.
That he started.
Arnold
And that
Schwarzenegger.
he started, and you know, he's the one making fun of all those tropes. I enjoyed how like he was able to transition from that action hero, nothing's going to hurt him mentality to like a more of a dramatic, you know, mentality. So I mean, that shows Arnold's, you know, acting abilities right there, being able to transition from one character to the next. So I'm probably going to come in probably about 8.5 for me.
Okay.
8.125.
8.125. That's good though. So what are you guys guessing it? What are you guessing it at?
33.
Oh,
For the
Rotten
critics,
Tomatoes
the
now?
critics
Oh,
hated
you guys
this
said
movie. I'm
you
going to say
hated it.
65.
Jesus, 65.
I want to say 74.
Okay, well, Madison's gonna take it. It's a 40%.
Fuck them.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's right, because you said 33. 40%.
Fuck them.
What do you think about audience?
65. I'll stay at 65.
I'll say 74.
66.
I looked her straight in the eye and I said,
I didn't say bitch, I said B.
Well, Karen is going to take this because it's a 47%.
Fuck them too.
That's crazy, isn't it? It says Last Action Hero has.
Explain that to me though, because
Yeah.
we've got so much meta that everybody
And there's
loves
so many people that
nowadays.
love this movie too.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people that don't like this movie.
I already won.
She already won.
Okay.
I won once too.
Ultimate Victor.
I'm not gonna reference
All right.
this. Just
Last
my
Action
mind.
Hero has most of the right ingredients for a big budget action spoof, but its scattershot tone and uneven structure only add up to a confused, chaotic mess. That is not what you're missing. The point of the movie.
Fuck your own face!
Yeah. Right. Let's see here. Let's get you guys some. Obviously, there's going to be some negative reviews on here.
You think so?
But for a movie that's getting a lot of negative reviews, I can't find any.
Strange.
Strange how that works. Here's a 1.5 stars. Last Action Hero was panned when I was a kid. It didn't leave a good impression on my mind. I went back and was pleasantly surprised for about an hour. The movie opens as a satire of action movies. There are references to violence continuity errors, unrealistic powers, and bigger-than-life repetitious characters. There are good jokes, and the movie seems to be in on the joke. But the movie has a conclusion that is too long and repeats all of the easy, silly action movie tropes where we're just making fun of. Okay, it's as if the creators wants to lampoon the genre while at the same time making a fun movie in that genre. It's way too long, and by the end, I just wanted it to be over. See, this is what I'm saying. You're missing the point of what the movie was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
The first half, yes, okay. The movie starts out, the kids, like you see the grittiness at the very beginning with the kid. The kid is where, like, that is your eyes and ears. You are that kid in real life, where consequences matter. What happens to you can't be undone. You can die in real life.
Yep.
He goes into this world where that's not the case, where good guys always prevail and bad guys always lose. And yeah, it's supposed to be all shiny and pretty because that's what movies make things look like. Then when they leave
Shiny
and go
and
back into the real world with Arnold, and Arnold's like, hey, I can actually die here. Shit. You know what I mean? That's the realization, and that's the difference, and that's what they were trying to do. You have to understand, this movie really isn't supposed to be fun or funny. Yes, there are funny moments, but only within the movie that's in the movie. In the Jack Slater movie, that's the fun part, because that's the part that is not reality. When they leave the movie, that's reality, and that's where our movie takes place. So that's what you are failing to understand. There is no inconsistencies in the tone. Those inconsistencies are there for a reason, because they're to point out the difference between reality and fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But you're missing that because you're fucking idiots.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful movie. Shut up.
Pop off.
Just saying, like, people don't understand what the movie was trying to do, obviously.
How
They
many
just want to
assholes we
criticize.
got on this ship anyhow?
Yeah.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Well, apparently over 40% of you. Or 60%, I should
Yeah,
say.
60.
Let's see here. 1 star. Incomprehensible. What? Okay. That's all
Well, at
he
least
said.
they kept it short and sweet.
I did. 2
Inconceivable.
star. Yeah. The sad part is I'm not getting a lot of, like, you know, most of them are like 3 stars, 4 stars, and then you get like 1 or 2 like 2 stars or whatever.
So it makes me a little suspicious about their
Rating.
40%.
It is like literally. Look at this. See? Okay, there's this 2 star.
Mhm.
There's a 4.5. 3.5, 5, 5, 3.5, 4, 5, 5. There's a 1 star. 3.5, 3.5, 5 star. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not
This
a
40%
lot.
So
is
is there
like sus.
is there other movie rating?
There's Metacritic.
Yeah, but that's also paid for too. I mean, you've seen people.
They're all.
I mean,
one
it
one
is-
is no worse or better than the other. Really,
It is, but Metacritic isn't as paid for as Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is owned by a specific company. They're owned by somebody, and yeah, it's.
Well, maybe we should start using Metacritic then.
we
was
have
trying-
in the past.
Yeah, we have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what Metacritic says about Last Action Hero.
Yeah, let's do a compare and contrast here.
Okay,
Because that 40% sounds a little sus, even
Okay,
by their own
so-
ratings.
Okay, so it says Metascore is 44%, but user score, universal acclaim with 216 users says 8.3 out of
That
10.
sounds a little bit
Out of
more
10. Yeah.
realistic.
reasonable.
Yeah. Because the critics hated it, but as a general consensus, most people like this movie.
Critics
Well,
go
it's
ahead
already
because
been
they're not getting
outed
paid
that
for it.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Buys.
Well, people buy
Buy their-
reviews.
yeah.
So not that it's Rotten Tomatoes, but like the people who do the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, half of them are bought. Now, are they buying reviews for Last Action Hero? No, probably not. But who's to say that a certain company of some kind might own Rotten Tomatoes that may rival another company that owns this is Columbia, isn't it? Columbia House,
cool.
Columbia Pictures or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
something like that. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm not.
Just
I'm not
seems a
in
little
there.
suspicious. Is
It
all
is
I'm saying.
suspicious, and you know what? Fuck them all. This movie's great. I don't care what anybody says. Karen, how about that trivia?
I got it.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Okay.
Just K? No, we want you to. I don't.
You don't listen to him, okay?
He's an asshole.
He's-
She never has. Why would she listen now?
Here, I got one
He's-
for you. I got one for you, Karen.
Bitch is hardcore.
Arnold Schwarzenegger thought the script was one of the best he'd ever read, and he was right. He especially liked all of the elements of comedy, action, drama, and the satire in it, and he was right. Filming continued. This is part of what I was talking about. Filming continued until the week before this movie debuted in theaters. So literally, they were still filming the week before it hit theaters.
That is so wild. How about what about the editing process? How'd that work?
Exactly.
Good lord.
The AC/DC song "Big Gun" was specifically written for this movie after Arnold
Pretty good editing for 1 week.
No shit.
after Arnold personally approached the group and asked them to write a song for it. Can you imagine that editor? He's probably like on so much
Damn it.
coke. He's like, hold on, I'm almost done.
5 seconds to go!
Charles Dance said in interviews that being told that he had won the part turned down by Alan Rickman because of the salary, he wore a t-shirt on set which read, "I'm cheaper than Alan Rickman."
Oh, really?
Which is hilarious because that's the guy that played Benedict. He doesn't seem like he would have much of a sense of humor.
He doesn't, because he's always been a very serious actor.
Right.
He was in Game of Thrones and all kinds. He's been all
Right.
kinds of shit.
Can you imagine him walking around in a t-shirt?
I'm cheaper than Alan Rickman. That's pretty funny though.
Tim Curry was also considered for the role of Benedict, which I can't. This guy just
I
nailed
think-
it.
This
Yeah.
guy nailed it, but Tim
I think-
Curry, I
no,
think
no.
Tim.
No, Tim Curry.
I think Tim Curry would have made it feel cheaper.
I love Tim Curry. I really
he's cheaper
do.
than-
Yeah, he's cheaper than that guy.
No, Tim Curry, I love him so very much, and he's a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
But he is, there's a little bit of a cartoony factor.
Yeah.
his
That's why I
acting.
said I think it would feel cheap.
Even when he's a bad guy, he's got a little bit of a flair and a cartooniness.
I
that he
agree.
brings
This
to
guy, the guy, I don't remember this guy's name, but he
Charles Dance.
Yeah, so I've never seen him play anything but serious roles. I've never seen him play a comedic role of any kind. Not that I can think of anyway.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see.
Maybe it's about time.
I mean, I'm not saying that anybody else couldn't do this role. I'm just saying that Tim Curry wouldn't be right for it. Because I like
agree.
the fact that this villain is intimidating and scary,
Mhm.
and he would kill you without any hesitation.
His name's Tim Curry.
No,
Yeah.
not this guy. That's the guy that Frankenfurter.
Another guy that was up for the
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
But Tim Curry sounds like Jim Carrey.
He's the guy that played It in the very first It.
the original It.
But Tim
series.
Curry and Jim Carrey, that sounds a lot alike.
Yeah, if you knew both of these actors, then you would know the difference.
I would, but I don't. So.
Yeah, right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted this movie to be PG-13, so it would appeal to a broader audience. Being the executive producer for the first time, he approved script, director, cast, studio financing, distribution, marketing, budget, PR firm, planning, a foreign release, etc. Schwarzenegger enjoyed the added responsibility because he could be involved in every facet of production.
Mm-hmm.
When Danny Madigan and Jack Slater arrive at LAPD headquarters, Sharon Stone and Robert Patrick appear outside the front door as Catherine Trammell from Basic Instinct and the T-1000 from Terminator 2, respectively. Sharon Stone's casting and a brief cameo as her Basic Instinct character was somewhat surprising because she and Arnold Schwarzenegger had clashed on the set of Total Recall. She was reluctant to do the cameo, but did it as a favor to Schwarzenegger, who reminded her that Total Recall had helped her career. I can just imagine him like calling her up and her being like, "Nah," and him being like, "Yeah, I think you should."
Well,
though.
I think you should because you kind of owe me.
Yeah, like I can just imagine how that went down. I don't know.
Fuck Sharon Stone though.
I know, right?
I really don't like her that much. I don't like her face.
She seems uppity.
She does. She seems like that bitch that's like she thinks she's better than you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't like that.
Yeah. When
I,
Danny,
mean, I don't know if that's how she really.
yeah,
is.
I don't know
That's just
either.
how
Maybe
she
she's
comes off
really
to me.
nice.
Maybe
but
she's
she
a super
seems-
nice lady.
She
She
seems
did
uppity.
an episode of that show that's on Netflix with Will Arnett where he's like the detective
Oh,
and they
I know
have
what
to
you're
like
talking about.
they're like they're real actors and they come in and there's no script or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And she did an episode of that and she wasn't too bad in that. So I mean,
I've seen her do some comedy and she's not bad in it.
No.
She does bring some She's
yeah,
got
I
some
just,
chops.
I
It's
just don't like Sharon Stone. I think
I-
I think Basic Instinct put that in probably Total Recall.
You know what? You're
put
probably
her
right because those
in
are the
that sort
first
of, like,
two things.
bitch
Yeah,
kind of,
exactly. Those were
you
the
know?
first two things I saw her in, and
Yeah.
now it's like you're.
She's just in that she's always in that category of like I bet you're a bitch.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like
So-
you know what? Maybe I
so-
owe you an apology. Maybe you're not.
So Arnold put her into that category in a sense with Total Recall.
Sort of.
I mean,
So,
he
I
didn't
mean-
fucking cast her.
no,
man.
he
mean-
didn't.
You know what I mean?
He didn't cast her. No. When Danny.
So I don't know if she really owes him anything on that one. Then.
Oh, she does because that got her going. She,
Got her going.
when Danny and
I
Jack
mean,
are
don't
looking.
get me wrong, dude. She was pretty.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous in
Yeah.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
And Basic Instinct.
Not so much.
Okay. When Danny and Jack are looking in the video store for the action section to find a Schwarzenegger movie, Danny is surprised and confused to see that Terminator 2 poster features Sylvester Stallone, and that apparently Schwarzenegger movies do not exist. Which you would think he would. He's a smart kid. He would know
Kind
that.
of figured that out.
Yeah, you think he would have figured that out? Like, obviously, if you're in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
They're
he's
not
not
going to
have
exist.
movies
He would obviously
with his face on them.
right.
you know
Like
what I
if
mean?
he saw that, his head would explode.
exactly.
You know?
So
I still
However-
like how they do that with Arnold.
Yeah.
it is a great bit. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
it
I
is.
love that they throw Sylvester Stallone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I know they had that feud going on back then.
Yeah. However, as Jack walks toward Danny to compliment Stallone's work on the shelf alongside several other known Hollywood movies at the time, a VHS tape of one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's earlier movies, Raw Deal, is clearly visible, with Arnold featuring prominently on the cover. Which I never noticed, and
I
now,
didn't even
now,
notice
now
it.
I've got a...
Yeah, now I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah,
again
right?
Just to see that.
Oh, just after Frank's house explodes, the Black Cop says 2 days to retirement as a nod to Roger Murtaugh from the Lethal Weapon film franchise. At that point, a soundtrack excerpt from Lethal Weapon theme plays in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when Danny Madigan is arguing with Jack Slater over checking to see if Benedict is dead after the two play chicken, he makes a reference to a villain in Die Hard, also directed by John McTiernan, who comes back at the end of the movie after being
Yeah.
presumed dead. Shortly afterwards, a soundtrack expert from Die Hard theme plays in the background.
I'm surprised they didn't get sued.
Well, I'm sure he had to buy.
He probably did
Probably.
like
Yeah, he
lease
had
the
some
rights or
rights
whatever.
on
it.
Yeah.
At one point, Danny produces a piece of paper with a word, presumably the F word or some variation of it,
Yeah.
written on it, and asks Slater to say it. Slater refuses, and Danny cites this as yet more evidence that they are in a movie, as the F word was not allowed in PG-13 movies at the time that this movie was made. However, the F word does appear in the movie, spoken by Lieutenant Decker during one of
I heard it.
during one of his
Very
rapid fire
slightly.
rants at Slater. Due to the nature of this scene, it's hard to discern, but it is definitely there.
He got
Yeah.
the one F word.
I heard it too. I was like, did he just drop the F-bomb? I didn't say nothing, but I'm like, that sounded like the F-bomb.
Yeah. Anybody want to guess the body count?
Didn't they say it in the movie? Like there was a certain.
I don't know
like
if they said it in the
100
movie.
I don't know. Is it what
Is it
Arnold
40?
says it is during the interview that he was doing?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It was like 100.
He's like, in the last movie we killed 100 and something, and in this one we only killed 45 or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did say
Yeah.
that, didn't he? Yeah, but that's not it.
Oh.
Well, maybe in the movie part.
Is it hundreds?
No, it's not in the hundreds.
56.
12?
63.
Eric will get it. It's 83.
That's close.
The movie's disappointed box office result has often been contributed to the fact that the fans of Arnold did not appreciate their hero effectively spoofing himself, as well as the action genre.
Why not?
I don't know. That had made him great. Because, I mean, honestly, like, that's one of my favorite things. When somebody can make fun of themselves, that is like, amazing to me. Like, that just means you don't have an ego as big as Texas.
Right. He's
Even
fighting.
though,
He's
even
fighting
though
himself.
Arnold definitely has an ego the size of Texas.
Yeah.
He's fighting himself. In
Well,
the
I mean,
theater.
more like he can make fun of himself that
I guess
way.
he is like a very, especially nowadays. Back then he was very serious about himself, but nowadays I see him in interviews and stuff, and you can very much tell that he's very reserved anymore.
No, I
He's
mean,
just
I
kinda
think
like,
that even then he still had a sense of humor about
Oh, he definitely had a sense of humor.
about who he
Yeah.
was and what he did.
Right,
So
yeah, I guess.
you see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have an ego to say like, "Oh, I am a very serious actor. Everything I do is serious." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he went into
He's
it
like, no, I
knowing-
do action movies. They're supposed to be over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he knew, what he did and that there was a joke in there. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
He makes light of what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
However, time apparently seems to have made audiences much kinder to this movie and its type of self-aware humor. His next movie, True Lies, which had a more subtle form of self-parody, did much better critically and financially, as did The Expendables, Expendables 2, and The Expendables 3, where he also parodied some of his famous trademarks. In fact, characters becoming aware of their own movie conventions became a big thing in the Scream franchise, and Danny's observations that villains often make the mistake of laying out their entire plan in lengthy monologue was effectively reused in The Incredibles. Additionally, the studio's decision to not push off the release date did them no favors. The movie ran so far behind schedule that they had just one test screening, which ran for 2 hours and 20 minutes with a lot of inaudible dialogue, boring the audience. The studio refused to delay the opening so as not to send the message that the movie was in trouble, a decision Arnold agreed with, which was a
Well,
mistake.
Yeah.
They should have pushed it off.
Yeah, they should have pushed it back.
And just said, hey, we've got, it was
Yeah, we need
behind
to do-
schedule. It happens
yeah,
all the fucking time.
All the time. Well, nowadays it does.
Yeah, I guess
Maybe
that's
not
true.
so much back then.
Yeah, there was always a push. Nick, the guy from the theater, was originally going to turn out to be the devil, but this was nixed by the producers. Old Nick is British slang for the devil. I'm so glad that they didn't do that.
I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have been retarded.
Yeah, because his whole thing doesn't mesh with that at all.
That
He's more like a kindly grandma,
well,
grandpa
that
or something
and
like
the
that.
fact, like the entirety of the movie doesn't match well with that.
Well, that's
you
what I'm
know
saying.
I mean?
Like, his whole thing was to give Danny a gift, not
yeah,
like, that doesn't
it
make any
didn't
sense at
make
all.
Any sense at all.
Premiere Magazine ran an article in 1993 which stated that there were nearly 200 intentional gaffes. Gaffes are what the industry used to call mistakes, some intentional and some actual mistakes. In other words, every scene has a mistake purposely inserted to make the audience feel as if they are in the movie. In one scene, Jack says to Danny regarding his ex-wife, "Do you think I would marry someone so stupid that doesn't know the real voice from a taped one?" In his next movie, True Lies, he uses a taped voice to fool his wife. In addition to a number of references to Lethal Weapon, the Asian thug who dies by ice cream cone had played the thug who tortured Riggs. And last one, Macaulay Culkin was in mind for the role of Danny and was one of the favorite candidates for both Arnold and John McTiernan for Danny's character, but he was busy working on The Good Son and The Nutcracker. Elijah Wood also auditioned for the role of Danny Madigan, but he was deemed too young. I'm kind of glad that they didn't use either one of them.
I'm okay with them not using Elijah Wood. The kid that played Danny, he wasn't bad. He was a little over the top at some points. But I think
I don't know if Macaulay would.
I don't know about Macaulay Culkin either.
No, I think Austin O'Brien did a good job, and
I think he did a good job too. But I mean, there were a lot of child actors back then. You know who would have been great? The kid who played in Sidekicks.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, the one who was in the second.
I liked Austin O'Brien for it, and I'll tell you why. When
he looked like an every kid.
He looked like an every kid.
Yeah.
Too, when he did, what you're talking about with like the overacting or whatever, I would call that more excitement. Because when I noticed it, it was when he first meets Jack, and he's excited because he's meeting his hero, and then like really, when I really think he really shines is during the emotional scenes. That kid could bring on the emotion better than...
It's true. He does have a lot of, like, whenever he's distressed, he shows distress.
Like, when that robber comes in, and, like, when Death shows up, and, like, he did a great job with that. I think he was the perfect pick. I really do.
Yeah, I guess he did do pretty well.
Yeah, I think he was great.
I have no complaints about him, really.
No, I think he was the perfect pick. I don't think... I mean, no
offense to Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, no offense to him at all. I just don't
think they would have brought that energy that he brought.
No.
So...
No, and Macaulay Culkin's a great actor. The Good Son is one of his best films.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the movie's great.
Yeah, but I think Austin O'Brien really nailed it. So.
All right, well there you go. That's last action here. Let's get into what we're doing next week, bro. Good Lord, Karen, you gotta let me hold the lid, man.
You didn't last time, and I did fine.
Put that cookie down.
Put that cookie down.
There's no cookie. There's a cookie. Where's the cookie? Oh my, we were just talking about this. Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, there you go. We're doing Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
All right. Don't forget about all our socials and stuff down there. TikTok, Spotify, all that good shit. And next week we're going to do Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Hey, I got the book.
Yeah, she's got the book.
Handbook for the recently deceased. Deceased.
Disease?
That's what she says in the movie, remember? Or he says. He goes to read it, and he's like, diseased. And she's like, deceased. And he's like, deceased.
Next week, we're going to do Beetlejuice. I'm sure you know what movie that is. I'm sure everybody's seen it at this point. Had to have.
I haven't.
Yeah, you haven't?
Oh.
Obviously.
Yeah, we all have. So like we said, well, hope you enjoy your year, and I hope you were safe. And hopefully you're not sitting in jail from another DUI of some kind or something.
Yeah, I hope not.
Fighting.
Yeah, fighting. Yeah. Anyway, till next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.